Hi Scorpios, and welcome to your June 2020 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky to speak to you about the energies coming in for your sign in this really incredible game-changing month of June. What an interesting energy coming in for you Scorpios. I know that as you're coming into this month, there is probably a crossroads that you are standing at, as I feel that the crossroads are at such an archetypal spotlight for you that you may not be able to perceive much of anything without some amount of crossroads or without some amount of decision-making, emphasis. So Scorpio is automatically coming into the month of June, it feels to me, with some amount of broken ego or some amount of conflict, okay? And it's not every single Scorpio, but it's kind of interesting the way that this extremely Capricorn-oriented year sort of just builds a baseline for you, and it builds a very long-running status quo that is there and present and is holding you. But at the same time, I think that Scorpio wants to commandeer the energy and wants more out of its life and wants a deeper meaning or wants a new motivation pattern, as you might have seen as a Scorpio, that you've always known, like, okay, I want to go for this, or I want to pursue this, or I see myself there, and it's always been easy, usually, for a very Scorpionic person to understand the point B from point A, and then just make it a matter of filling in those gaps. But June of 2020, to me, feels like it's changing the game when it comes to how you're setting goals, how you're setting motivations, and how you're filling in the gaps. You might feel like you're a little bit oblivious to certain things, or like you don't really know what you're doing the main parts of your day for, and you need to use this time to start to amplify and elevate through and overcome this new pessimistic energy that has come in. So a bit of a pessimism that I feel has entered into your experience, just a little bit of indecisiveness that I think will get better towards the end of this month as you get towards that third week with Ace of Swords. And also a lot of counter-guessing or counter-intuiting or, thinking of these certain realities, thinking of what you might do if you move, thinking of what you might do if you did this, and then not quite going through, deciding to keep shackled to the current point of karma, which is a baseline and does offer you something and does give to you. But the question is, has it become in any way destructive or in any way non-continuable? Scorpio in the month of June is really understanding how to move forward, how to continue, and how to combine together this, I love King of Cups and King of Wands coming up upright in the same week for you, really learning how to combine those two higher evolved kingly ideals of water and fire energy, passive versus aggressive, really overcoming old polarities, really trying to heal any interior sense of bipolarity as well. Scorpio has to really understand the tug of war coming from within and outside of themselves, okay? So this is a demanding month for you, Scorpio, where some of you have to get out of your comfort zone, and some of you also have to break shackles and just let things change, or you've got to get good and really foster that sense of true self-standing with Nine of Pentacles as well. So interesting, Scorpios. I am seeing a commitment one way or the other. I'm seeing like either staying and being happy about it or going and being happy about it. I don't think that 1 foot in and 1 foot out does much for you. A lot of the signs got Temperance this month, which shows, the angel in Temperance with 1 foot in the water and 1 foot out of the water. And that's not here for you. And I don't think that it's, I don't feel that for you. I don't feel this like imperfect lingering phase really stretching out much longer than June. So there are decisions here to make. Also, Ace of Swords usually shows a new decision. Eight of Cups is usually, moving away or moving out. Six of Swords is also a move. So you've got two cards that deal with a move, although Six of Swords is reversed. So there's something about this move that's unanticipated, perhaps more expensive or rigorous than you thought. And that would also be a bit of a folly to believe in. Scorpios, I think that it's a little bit extreme. There's a bit of extremeness about what your means are and what what you need to see from your future. I think you've just got to put one foot in front of the other. I think that's what Eight of Cups is all about. And the reversal of Six of Swords in the reading too, it's like there's a demobilization, like a frozen stillness, like a sort of bound type of energy that you're dealing with. And I don't think that's anybody else's fault. I don't think that you need to think, oh my God, is somebody psychically attacking to me? Maybe they are. But as a Scorpio, it's quite easy for you to just slip right out of those things, and that comes through putting one foot in front of the other. So the universe will support you, Scorpio. Try to not lose confidence over any changes that you need to make. And then if it also becomes apparent that you need to stay or you need to stay still, that's okay too. Okay, things can survive and can work with that. But here's not really the emphasis. It's not really about either staying or either going. Either decision leads you usually to the same place in some way or another. I mean, not always the same place, because sometimes it's vital for you to do one or the other. But the universe will support you. If you need more, you'll be given more. If you feel like you don't have enough, you'll see that too in a way. But what I will say is it's just really important to have this pragmatic ability to move forward, and you'll be okay. Put one foot in front of the other, just keep moving, and you will have progress here if you would like. But it's also so easy to just sit and just be chained up to all of these old experiences. And I mean, that profits you in a way with the Capricorn energy, because it's a very conservative energy. So let's talk about the week-to-week Scorpio and try to understand more of this heaviness. Week number 1, it's that Six of Swords reversed, rooted down by the devil. I won't lie, Scorpios, as you make changes, there are certain things about these changes made that feel undercooked or feel like a challenge, okay? Because I've talked about how, it's a high order to make a huge transformation during this year at all, but some of us need forward progress, and it is still indicated for you to progress. So one way or another, there has to be progress in the first week, but you have to be careful about overwhelming the transformative effort of it. Sometimes we have to take a few things with us here and there. And with the devil upright, as you have the devil and the sun as major arcana cards. So devil coming up upright as major arcana. I always like to recommend envisioning cutting those shackles, because so often they're coming from the mind, they're coming from an emotional spectrum, and we like, especially during Capricorn year, to have that sense of continuance. Even if it's pain or trauma or difficulty, we're like, well, yeah, but I'm just used to it, I'm accustomed to it, and I can predict it, and I know it's going to be there. Even if it's an awful circumstance, just its predictability gives me comfort. This is something that we're fixing in the first week of June, Scorpio. And as you fix that, you move into the second week of June, and that is an incredible, incredible time for you. King of Cups rooted down by King of Wands. For those of you who are single, I could see dating during that time or meeting somebody incredible. That's possible. Also, for those of you who are coupled, I sense really getting a stronger relationship or making your relationship stronger. But at a personal level, aside from anybody outside of yourself, that is final combination. Final alchemy. I was on a drive the other day and I was thinking, because I'm a Scorpio, and I was thinking of like, wow, I'm kind of struggling to combine things in my life. Like, I feel like I have all of these raw materials in my life that are doing well, from like career to relationship with self to, goals moving forward. And they're all there, but I'm struggling myself to kind of mix them together. And it's like a recipe, and I'm also not a good cook either. So I don't know if any other Scorpios can resonate with this. Like, I'm sure some of you are wonderful cooks, but I was kind of realizing, I'm like, okay, I'm good at finding ingredients. I'm good at, finding maybe the best ingredient to cook with or getting them all together. But when it comes to actually mixing it all and merging it all together and creating this incredible new alchemic like recipe, I struggle with that. And I think that's what that's talking about with the second week of June. King of Cups and King of Wands, that's those fire and water energies mixing together and finally understanding an effort towards combination there. So that could look like a brand merger, that could look like a consolidation, that could look like finally putting a face to the name of something or someone you've needed or something like that. It's sort of an identity time where these different components of your identity start to form together as one. So that will start in the second week of June. That can be scary if you feel unprepared, but also very rewarding. I'm getting chills. I think that's a beautiful energy, though. I think it's a very teaching time for you. Week number 3, Ace of Swords rooted down by the Sun reversed. So, good ideas. Finally, Scorpio, okay, regardless of what decisions you make in the beginning of June, the commitment to either direction will help you like nothing else to understand the way forward. Ace of Swords is finally seeing things clearly, finally being able to think something over, finally coming to a conclusion. And rooted down by the Sun reversed says that it's probably all going to come back to the health of the body and mind. So making sure that the sleep schedule is fostered, okay? Making sure that I know we talk health, health, health over and over and over again. During such an Earth year, it's the preset for everything. It's the starting point for everything. So honestly, Scorpio, if you feel like you can't come to a conclusion, or if you feel like you're out of ideas, or you're out of stamina, or something like that, like mental stamina, I hate to tell it to you, Scorpio, but it's probably in your diet. It's probably in your sleep habits. It's probably, in the polarities of your thought process, in the expression of the ego, and the fracturing of a certain template that you have in the mind. I know that's complicated, but some of you will get it. So we've got to work within a template, okay? We've got to work within a certain preset of what we know how to do this year. Now, at the end of this year, as we move into 2021, we can start to mix things up more. We can start to take more chances. And it's not that you can't take a chance here, but there's a certain rationality about this time. We've had the quarantines, we've had huge economic, tearing. We've had a lot of lack of understanding, actually, and a lot of we're really in unknown territory right now. So for that reason, it's not so great to destabilize ourselves and completely risk everything for uncertain outcomes. And I kind of feel like you wanted to do that now, and it's just the fact that the timing does not support that. So every decision, every change comes with it some amount of responsibility and some amount of certainty, okay? And you get the good idea of how to maintain that there in the third week of June. So it's coming through for you, Scorpio. Try to not worry. That's also the time when we have 7 retrogrades as well. So a true understanding of what you're actually working with will come through there and what you've been working with. Week number 4, 8 of Cups rooted down by 9 of Pentacles. So interesting. We actually have the exit and re-entry into this area of high-minded comfort. So the 9 of Pentacles is about very old traditional hierarchical standards of like nobility, aristocratic living, and when I say aristocratic, try to not think about that from like a level of like government. What I mean is like feeling like all of your needs are met and tended to. You have abundance, you have, power, you have like prestige, and you're not bothered by it. You're comfortable within it, and you're not trying to go ego crazy with it. You're letting the world clothe you, essentially. This is what the 9 of Pentacles is all about. It is about success. It is about progress. It is about long built, even generationally built progress and holding as well. So some people don't like that. That's kind of out of vogue right now. But I do think there's something with legacy for you and something with generational focus that is calling to you. So the issues with family lines or the issues with family dynamics are perhaps kind of being walked away from or re-entered into during the 4th week of June. And the decisions that you're making regarding family, or the decisions that you're making regarding, legacy or anything like that, these decisions do have a starting point here in the 4th week of June. And maybe not even so much a starting point as it is more so like a defining point where you say, okay, I'm either going to focus a lot into this or I'm going to go my own way and focus on me. Again, here we are at stay or go again for Scorpio. And Scorpio, I think that what is demanded or what is needed to feel like you have some amount of like understanding of directions right now is to really get outside of this stay or go mentality. That is not really what the overarching spiritual messages for this time. If you stay or if you go, either way, this should not be changing up the game that much for your outlook, okay? Again, I think you might really be associating staying or going with like completely different realities. And of course, they are different realities to a degree, but within every reality or within each paradigm, there's still this overarching karma direction and path of a soul's like momentum. So regardless of whether you fly off to Paris or if you fly off to I don't know, some beautiful coastal island, or you go back to the family home, or you do this or do that, there's still an overarching momentum that you're on, and there's still a similar amount of experiences that will play out regardless of where you go. Now, when we shift paradigm, when we travel outside of time zones, when we do all of that, it does change, obviously, the stimulus, and we're seeing different things, and it's coming through different things. But you'd be interested to know that in this type of time, with all the Capricorn energy, that it does not really matter where we are or what we're doing. There's a certain momentum that's been set, and it will be achieved based on certain decisions made. So try to not humor yourself too much with flighty or false promises that by making some gigantic transformative effort that this would really change the outlook of things too much now. Now, next year, that will be different. But as for now, as for this summer, as for the immediate future, it does not matter so much whether we're staying or going, Scorpio. What matters is this fostering this sense of self-care. Okay, essentially. I know we hate the word self-care. We love the word self-care. It's great, but we talk and talk and talk about it in these communities. But I kid you not, Scorpio. The devil coming up, the sun reversed. I don't feel that there's a very... and this is tough, Scorpio. It's tough to say during a year like this, but I don't, because it means a lot. It means a lot of pain. I'm not feeling that the self-care is wonderfully fostered. Now, you could be a Scorpio with other placements, or maybe it's not for every single person. But if you're having that internal dialogue, stay or go, I think that now the most important thing is self-care. So for some of us, yes, that means getting alone. Reptiles are interesting. Reptiles. Scorpio does rule over reptiles and cold-blooded animals. So they do shed their skin alone. Okay. They do have those big transformations alone. So if it's necessary, if you've got to heal, oftentimes it's very hard to facilitate that while living with the family or while living with roommates or anything like that. So I do sense that some Scorpios do need to go and be alone. But try to not invest too much like, oh my God, if I don't do that, I'm just going to never get what I want. No, it's your daily actions, Scorpio. It's your everyday routine. It's the little choices that make big choices. It's your consolidational efforts. It's your alchemic abilities. These things are not dependent on your location. Okay, so that's an important thing to understand. Although, if you're around certain energy vampires or if you're around certain crazy people or something like that, that can obviously have an impact because there's coping that we get into and the energetic requirements of other people. So this is complicated, Scorpios, I won't lie. But in conclusion, as it is relating to just you, there's an overarching theme that's already established. There's an overarching momentum that's already established. And what you can do is enjoy that ride and enjoy where it takes you, because most of you have a great, diamond in the rough there to some degree. Because again, Scorpio, during such a strong Capricorn energy, this is not the time of being stripped of everything that you have or being convicted or condemned by other people. That's really not seen. Again, it's more of fitting into a status quo or being along for the ride of some kind of, or someone else's huge journey, and kind of, being retained is more so the energy versus being contained or condemned. So we need to switch the mentality, Scorpio, more to retained versus contained, okay, or condemned or convicted or anything like that. Because I think that some of your minds are getting ahead of themselves and find themselves a little bit too out in the spotlight when it's not really a Scorpio's time to shine right now. This is a Scorpio's time to build and retain what it needs. So very interesting messages, Scorpio. And on that note, I want to go ahead and invite you to the extended reading over on Patreon, and we'll look more into how you can step into happiness while working to retain in a healthy way. And we'll look at supporting themes, central themes, 3 extra cards to see what else is behind this and to understand how you can thrive more, because I know that you want more for yourself than what you have right now, so we'll look into it. Also, if any of you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, as well as your likes and comments make my day too. I welcome you to my channel to check out any videos. I do new videos every Friday. 6 p.m. Pacific time, and I do the general readings as well. There are some links in the description box. I'm on social media. I have affiliate links if you're interested to help support the channel. Let me know how this video resonated for you, and let's jump over to Patreon now. You can click the center of the video to jump over to the extended reading. Much love, Scorpios. Bye.